Your Royal Highness, Lord Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, we finally come to the closing ceremony of ESOF 2016. After 150 sessions, more than 700 speakers, 3,000 delegates, some have gone, but you are the army that marched to the end. We're ready to move towards the close of our conference. We have a number of speakers. Just before we get to them, I wanted to go back to our original slogan for this meeting, Science as Revolution, from Cottonopolis to Graphene City. You have heard about our past as a city of cotton, the Industrial Revolution, the hard times, but the wealth it generated. You have heard about our future, the greatness of graphene. Our Chancellor from our university, the poet Lem Sissay, has written a poem about the city and about graphene. I'm not going to read it all out, find it out for yourselves, but he says two important things. He says, if they ask, what is Manchester? I say, it is in my blood. And when he comes to graphene, he borrows a little bit. He says, 2D or not 2D. So let us proceed, and the first person I'd like to invite to speak to you is my good friend, Director General Robert Jan Smits.
Thank you very much, Luc, for this kind introduction. Royal Highness, dear colleagues, dear friends, congratulations to Manchester for hosting such a stimulating edition of the EuroScience Open Forum. With the motto, Science as Revolution, ESOF 2016 offered an exciting program with first-class opportunities for scientists, innovators and policymakers to engage with one another, to network and to share ideas on the transformational potential of science. With around 3,000 participants from 80 countries, including 300 journalists providing excellent coverage, ESOF is Europe's largest scientific conference where the current state and the future of European science and science policy are discussed. It is the place for mobilizing and engaging stakeholders to embrace research and innovation. In this sense, it makes a unique event for the European science and innovation community. And that's why I'm proud that the European Commission has been a continuous partner of ESOF with a growing financial support. Many famous names of science were present here in Manchester to share with us their thoughts and bright ideas on the future of science. The forum also welcomed business and policy leaders, such as the science ministers and the chief scientific advisors, and welcomed those at the very early stages of their scientific career. The Science Festival inspired and engaged the public, and particularly younger people, to explore how science connects to our daily lives and to imagine the possibilities for the future. And we were all given the possibility to discover Manchester. It's a great city. Thank you, Manchester. Well, the ESOF torch is now handed over to Toulouse, the beautiful Ville Rose with its unique architecture made of terracotta bricks. This dynamic city is an excellent choice and will offer a first-class location. Toulouse and its region has a leading position in space and aeronautics. It is the center of the European aerospace industry, with the headquarters of Airbus, the Galileo positioning system, the Spot satellite system, the Airbus Group, and the Eurospace Valley. The city is also known for its biotechnology and health research. The Federal University of Toulouse Midi-Pyrénées regroups the regional high-level research and higher education establishments with some of its members amongst the very oldest in Europe. The foundation of the University of Paul Sabatier dates back to 1229. Toulouse is proud of its Nobel Prizes, Jean Tirole being the most recent one, who was awarded the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2014 for his remarkable work on market power and regulation. but also Paul Sabatier himself, Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1912, and Jean Dosset, Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1980, are very well known. And when we think about Toulouse, we automatically think of the Cité de l'Espace, the city of space, that brings you into space with full-scale models of the Ariane 5 rocket, 55 meters, the Mir space station, and the Soyuz modules. Toulouse is also a city that is constantly looking to the future and is eager to expand the frontiers of knowledge. The first flights of extremely daring and innovative airplanes, such as the Concorde and Airbus 380, are proof of this. So with its strong commitment to scientific and technological innovation, Toulouse has all it takes to host the next edition of ESOF around the motto, sharing science to its new horizons. I would like to take this opportunity to offer EuroScience, the University of Manchester and Manchester Marketing my heartfelt thanks for putting together such an excellent program, and wish Toulouse all the best for ESOF 2018. And if I were a good singer, I could end my talk with the marvelous song of Claude Nougaro, O mon pays, O Toulouse. But don't worry, I won't even try. See you in Toulouse in 2 years from now. Thank you very much.
Your Royal Highness, Lord Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, the well-known saying is that all good things must come to an end, and this is now true for ESOF 2016. You've had a packed programme over the last 4 days and far too many great sessions and activities to highlight, but I did feel that the opening ceremony on Sunday got us off to a great start. Throughout the event, I heard the words collaboration, innovation, and partnership many times, and this has been a strong underlying theme of the conference. I'm sure you will agree that the lineup of speakers that have been at ESOF this week has offered a unique collection of eminent scientists, leading business people, and the best from academic institutions in Europe and further afield. Put them together with over 500 media and science communicators that have also been here, and you have a recipe for a fantastic exchange of ideas. Manchester has been proud to host ESOF 2016 and to welcome all of you to our city. I know, because of the feedback that I've received, that you accepted my challenge in the opening ceremony to get out into the city and meet some of the people. And I know that you've enjoyed the hospitality of some of our bars and restaurants and witnessed the changing city landscape with its blend of old and new. Legacy can be an overused word, but right from the start, we were determined that we would maximise the opportunities that ESOF had offered. You'll recall the enthusiasm for science shown by the children interviewed by Professor Brian Cox during the opening ceremony, and we are committed to ensuring that their access to and inspiration from science continues to grow. The scope and diversity of the exhibition that has been such an important part of this conference underlines the commitment of our partners to invest and support the science economy in the city region. We believe that ESOF has significantly helped to reinforce our reputation as a science city. The festival this week will provide real momentum for our annual Science Festival. We've embraced the designation as a European City of Science, and I'm sure you'll agree that nobody could have missed that. You've been all in town this week with our colourful branding. I want to close by wishing Toulouse the very best of luck for hosting ESOF in 2018. Thank you, and I'm not sure if you're supposed to be doing this or me, Luke, but I'm now going to cue a video. Thank you very much.
I'm delighted to welcome you all here to Manchester, the European City of Science and host city of the EuroScience Open Forum 2016. I suppose your generation may be the first to go back to the moon and then onto Mars. Would you fly to Mars if somebody gave you the opportunity?
Probably not. The 21st century, I think, will be in between a triangle of public, the scientists, and data. And the public will be at the center of it.
Science is beautiful, science is so engaging that contributing to advancing knowledge of humanities is so sexy, and so it's important to discuss this.
It is sexy, it's passionate, and it's sensual and big vision.
So for me, it's been great seeing how all the scientists from across Europe all come together to tackle a lot of the biggest problems. And it seems like the theme is trying to figure out how to encourage students to pursue a career in science and invigorating young people to kind of pursue that career.
10, 15 years ago, we were not aware about a whole class of materials which are one atom or one molecule thick, was that they could exist. We were not aware. It's a new class of materials. Graphene is one of them.
You can't be ingenious without new science and without the creation of new things. That everything we do is going to have a positive impact on society, on people that are living here in Manchester, in the UK and around the world.
Some great memories there. Can I now invite Professor Dame Nancy Rothwell to join me on stage?
Thank you very much indeed, Your Royal Highness, Lord Mayor, friends. Let me first say on behalf of all of my colleagues in Manchester, what a great privilege it has been to host ESOF 2016. Something very important about ESOF is the word open. We've been open to scientists from across the world, open to the press, and you may have seen hundreds and hundreds of tweets. But we are also very mindful of the importance of science in building bridges. I cannot imagine a better example of that than the very last scientific session some of us were in, hearing about the Sesame Project in the Middle East, bringing together countries across political divides in ways we might never have imagined. Indeed, transcending political differences is particularly important in the United Kingdom just at this moment, with the timing of ESOF so soon after the referendum. I cannot tell you the joy in Manchester when we saw Carlos Moedash's tweet saying ESOF is more important than ever, see you in Manchester. A big cheer went up. So I do want to thank all the many European and indeed other international scientists who've come here and who have supported us in ESOF. I just want to briefly repeat what I said in the opening ceremony. Whatever the outcome of Brexit, Manchester, the city and the university will absolutely remain part of Europe, part of ESOF and part of EuroScience. You will all be very welcome, of course, in the future. This was very much a partnership between ESOF, the University of Manchester and the City of Manchester. And I want to say great thanks to the City for their huge support, and indeed to the Mayor, our Lord Mayor, Carl Austin Behan, who's been at many of the sessions and is here again today. Thank you. ESOF is a great collaborative effort, of course, between the many members of the ESOF team, the speakers, the fantastic sponsors, the exhibitors, the press, the conference partners, but most of all, you as participants. There are far too many people to thank individually, but there is a group of people that I want to highlight, and that is our volunteers. We have 150 volunteers as part of ESOF from 34 different nationalities, ranging in age from 18 years to well over 70 years. And could you give them a round of applause, please? A A great part of ESOF, which some of us only seen snapshots of as we've been running around the conference centre, with me trying to be in 3 or 4 different places at one time, is Science in the City. The many events that have been going on around us and will continue for the rest of the week, and many continue much longer than that. So I'd like to just show a short film that captures some of the Science in the City events.
Events like this are really great opportunities for scientists to get a chance to engage with the public, to talk about their work, and to facilitate an interaction between scientists and the public. It's been really interesting to see what kind of audiences have been coming to the talks. We've had everything from kind of people off the street to kids, to students, to parents, and it's been really great to see people who are clearly not scientists themselves and not necessarily engaged in science in their everyday life getting really inspired and excited and asking great questions.
Well, I think all stuff like this definitely helps, stuff that the public can go and engage in, so games or, the VR, because that's a new technology, and you can get involved with all these different things and, see how you look in 70 years or play the game and change your lifestyle if you need to, get healthier.
It's windy, it's Manchester. I didn't think anyone would come and do a workshop to crush cabbage with their hands, and each one's been full. It's amazing to see how people are interested in getting closer to their food.
So I'm here with my team from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and we're here to compete at the United Kingdom University Rower Challenge. So we think it starts at a young age, absolutely, to get people involved in it, especially women in engineering and science and things like that. And it's definitely important to encourage them to continue to work on it and to be interested in it.
Well, I think what's great is that there's loads of different ways of engaging people in science and loads of different types of events going on across the city, from talks and workshops and interactive experiences. The idea is that science events like this are going to become more and more widespread. So there's going to be more and more opportunities for scientists to speak to the public, for the interface between scientists and the public to kind of shrink and to get easier for people to connect in with the scientific community.
So finally, I've been reflecting on what advice we might give to Toulouse that might help them for ESOF 2018. First, of course, there is the planning. We heard in one of the conferences about Murphy's Law. If something can go wrong, it probably will. And it was only through the rigorous planning of the team that not more things didn't go wrong. The second is the great diversity of ESOF, which of course is a real strength, from the youngest scientists to the leading Nobel laureates, academics to business, press, politicians, policymakers, and so on. And we've tried to include a little bit on science and history, science and art, and science and poetry. But you do have to recognise at some point that you're never going to please everybody. I would also suggest 2 other things. Firstly, you need quite a bit of stamina to get through the actual conference itself, and I should warn you, you will need to be in a lot of different places. And then something that you may not have a problem with in Toulouse, but I was commended this morning for the fact that we managed to organise that the rain all fell at night, and during the daytime it was quite fine. But my last and most important piece of advice to you is that you need a Vicky Rosin. Vicky has been absolutely fantastic in this conference, and without her, it would certainly not have gone nearly so well. Now, Toulouse, you're fortunate because in Manchester we're used to doing transfer deals, usually for a mutually agreed price, so I'm happy to discuss that afterwards with you. But I want to invite Vicky up onto the stage so we can say a proper thank you to her.
Speeches.
Thank you. Fine. So now could I invite Professor Laurits Holm-Nielsen, President of EuroScience, onto the stage.
Your Royal Highness, Lord Mayor, friends, thank you, Nancy. EuroScience is really grateful to you, to the City of Manchester, to the University of Manchester and the other higher education institutions here for all of your efforts in order to make ESOF 2016 such a great success. I'm sure I speak on everyone's behalf. We have enjoyed the high quality of the program, the excellent organization and venue, and of course, not least, the welcoming atmosphere here in Manchester, the northwest of England. We are returning home, energized and tanked with new ideas and inspired to work harder for science in Europe and beyond. A warm and heartfelt thank you from all of us to all of you, Nancy, Luke, Vicky, Paul, and thank you, Manchester. Thank you all supporters and sponsors. And not least, thank you, EU. Thank you to the Commission of our community for a very strong support for science. Don't forget Horizon 2020 and the other programs. And for your never-failing support of ESOF. I think we can say we are really, really, really happy that our commissioner could share with us 3 days of his very busy calendar, not only to have a few formal meetings, but also to pendle around among all of you and have a chat, an open chat, on what is going on in his mind, learning from what is going on in our minds, and I'm sure he has brought a lot of good ideas back. He's also tanked up for working harder, even harder, for science in Europe. So Robert Jan, please bring our sincere gratitude back to the Commissioner, Carlos Muedas. And now, I think it's my turn to Anne. I haven't seen her. Anne, please, Anne, join us. So, now, Anne,
yes.
Toulouse is the next European City of Science, our City of Science. I told you yesterday evening that ESOF 2018 is only 2 days away. And of course, Anne said, no. I asked, are you sleeping well? Yes, she's sleeping well. But I reminded her when we are 2 years ahead in Toulouse, and will think of those 2 years as only 2 days. You will have a lot of work and hard work in front of you. EuroScience wish you all the good luck in the preparation of ESOF 2018. We look very, very much forward to meet again to EuroScience Open Forum for all of the scientists in Europe and beyond. And of course, welcome to Toulouse, sharing science towards new horizons. It's a fantastic motto that we will now deal with you, and we will work hard together to make Toulouse as great a success as Manchester has been. No one single city makes it the same way. And I want to remind you that after Toulouse comes another European city. And we have opened now the call for European cities to express their interests. And we wish especially to encourage cities in the eastern part, in the so-called new member states, or the central and eastern part of Europe, to present themselves. And of course, we'll work hard with them as well to make a wonderful city of science somewhere in another corner of Europe in 2020. But now, of course, I think the torch is coming from Manchester. See, I own it for 2 seconds. And now, now it's your turn. You need my help?
No, I think I will manage. On the music of the European hymn, I'm happy to give you some gifts from Toulouse. They have nothing to do, apparently, with science. This is something, well, I will try to get this, which has to do with handmade things in our region. And these things is in French. And so you will have some time reading French.
I will.
And
Thank
it
you.
has to do with poetry.
Fantastic.
I remarked in your interview in Nature that you talked about the poetry meets science part. I thought you would appreciate that. And we have in Toulouse the oldest academy of literature in Europe making poetry. It's called the Académie des Jeux Floraux. So it's on behalf of the Académie des Jeux Floraux that I give you this.
Thank you.
And you also get something about poetry.
Thank you very much.
This academy has a muse, a woman inspiring all the poets, and you get the medal. She's called Clémence Isor. You will hear more about her in 2 years from now. And you know that we all know that Manchester is a big city of football, and Toulouse is a big city of rugby. So Luke, I think I will direct this to you. It is signed by all the players of the Toulouse rugby team. And of course, you get the balloon.
Thank you so much.
So now, I can see here a number of people, Your Royal Highness, Lord Mayor, Directeur Général, all our colleagues, our supporters from Toulouse, and our PhD students from Toulouse who came here to Manchester to get inspired by your ESOF. And the first thing I would like to say is thank you. Thank you very much for a very inspiring event. And I think we have already learned a lot, but we have a lot to learn from your experience and the experience of previous ESOFs. So next time we'll be in Toulouse, you heard that. In case somebody did not know where Toulouse is, there's a little map of Europe, France, our region, and the dot spot for Toulouse. Our region is called the region Occitanie since recent time, as we have had a reorganization of the regions, and Toulouse is the capital of this region. Our motto has been cited already. sharing science towards new horizons. I will elaborate a little bit on it. But the first thing I would like to say is it has been democratically chosen. We actually proposed several formulations, and people voted through internet, and we chose the one that went first. So that was it, sharing science towards new horizons. So welcome already to Toulouse next time. And we will obviously build on previous ESOFs. And I'm not going to go through all the history of ESOFs, which is such a rich history already. So the 8th edition will be in Toulouse. And I just recall here two mottos, two slogans from previous ESOF. In 2014, it was science building bridges in Copenhagen. Here, you repeated it, it's science as a revolution. And what we mean with our motto is revolution built up through science, bridges between communities and disciplines. They really have a meaning if this science is shared, and shared not only between scientists, but between all kinds of stakeholders, and not shared for being shared, but for looking towards new horizons, hence our motto. What Toulouse means for you, and you already heard some of it, and you will hear more from the next speakers. Well, of course, Airbus, aeronautics, and all the science and the technology that goes with it. This you probably know. Well, the Cité de l'Espace and all the space, science, and industry is also a characteristic of our town. You know, I was born in Toulouse, that's my town, and these things are really deeply rooted in my own memories. And I'm happy that Toulouse becoming the European City of Science will give you some flavor of all this and the history that is also behind. But what about sharing science? Well, this is one of the places in Toulouse where you just go for a drink, and you can share science in many places, in many ways, and we hope to see you there for that. Oh, what's that?
Good afternoon, I'm Nadej, and we are the PhD student ambassadors of Toulouse ESOF 2018, sorry. And this little boy was running everywhere at the Museum of Science and Industry, and he finally stopped in front of what is the origin of industry. And I stopped in front of what is a beautiful example of sharing science.
So come and share science. We intend to have this being true, of course, between and across disciplines, and that's one of the characteristics of ESOF, to mix up, merge, make people who never meet in other places to meet there as scientists. But also between geographical areas and countries, and this ESOF was a great example of not only being scientists, but many different stakeholders, and the whole world was here in Manchester. And we think that really science is a great mean to unite and construct relations between not only disciplines, but countries, even when relations may be on other places difficult. So science is much more than just creating new knowledge. And I think this is very much the reality in all ESOFs. Between generations, you just saw a picture of a child here, and a young scientist all around. And I think that this is one of the characteristics we want really to build on in ESOF in 2018. Between academia and industry, there are some great examples in Toulouse. We have clusters where academic world and industry are really working together, creating new kinds of partnership. And this has to be discussed. It's never the same, it's always changing. And this is also a great characteristic of sharing science. Sharing science with policymakers, that is a bit challenging sometimes, because they want to make decisions, not necessarily to understand science. And if you don't understand science, and at least the direction it takes. It's difficult to make good policy. So this is a challenge. Policymakers, we hope they will be there. Various social actors. I personally would like very much that very different kind of social actors get into the program, are on the scene, are together with scientists and policymakers and make their say. And society at large, we will have big events in the city too. So towards new horizons. Just want to give you some highlights of ESOF 2018, which is still to be constructed, of course. It's not today that anything is ready. But aeronautic space, health, that's my field, so it's close to my heart. There are great things in Toulouse, in cancer research in particular, and we would like this to be one of the cornerstones of our program. Agrosciences are very powerful in Toulouse, and agro-industry too, and in the whole region, and that's a characteristic. Economy, you heard about our School of Economy, and there are many other things, and you will come to see all these things. So the many ways of public and private partnership will be one of the guiding axes that we would like to develop. How infrastructures in all kinds of science, humanities, social science, biology, and the classical big infrastructures are transforming the way science is being done, and we would like very much to have reflection and debates about that. Science policy, obviously we will be towards, well, New Horizons, FP9, the 9th framework of the European Union, and the ESOF at that time can be a real platform for discussing and shaping and having a say in the shape of this research and innovation framework. Debate with society, responsible research and innovation, in the call for the support of the Commission, these three words are there and repeated, so there will be at the core, they will be at the core of our thoughts and program. Of course, program for young people, and then we will invite you to scientific tourism in Toulouse and the region, where we have wonderful sites, like, I will just cite one, the Observatoire du Pic du Midi in the Pyrenees, where the exploration is done. So this is just a view of Toulouse. You will see better ones in a second. Oh, and that, do you have something to say?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Vanessa, and I'm one of the PhD student ambassador. And I took this picture because when we arrived at Manchester, it was that moment in the Blue Dot Festival where we find this big, hot, red, and funny bubble that make us think about Toulouse. So a little Toulouse in Manchester.
Yes, and it's true that we do have this color of the bricks in Toulouse, which is a characteristics. We have a university, that's just a picture of it. We have PhD students, as you see, and everything will end on the 14th of July with fireworks. And we will welcome you to the firework too. But now, you know, it has been said that Toulouse is the pink city. So just come to the pink city in July 2018.